Hi, my name is Paul Zog. I'm the Commandant of the Chicago Police Marine Corps League. It's a small charity organization made up of veterans that does work to support veterans and first responders, helping them out as much as we possibly can. Doing different types of events. We'll join different races, fishing trips, hunting trips, shooting training, medical training. And then we're kind of big into the mental health, so that's where most of our initiatives lie. So being able to help the guys out as much as possible is our goal. We kind of believe that the mental health is really important due to the amount of stress that most first responders and military personnel see. So those are a couple different careers, whether it be military, law enforcement, EMT, fire, ERU medical staff, etc. Often get a lot of stressful situations. So you're going to have the shootings, the homicides, some of the bad crime scenes we see, and then all the things you might see while we're doing combat tours overseas, etc. And that can kind of start to wear a person down. So the mental health component, I think for a while was a little bit underlooked, and it's more focus has been brought on it lately, and that's what we like to do, and that's where we like to help our guys. Some of the things that we're really looking for to build in our initiatives with mental health, and I think it would be kind of the same with everyone. Money is great, so money works. That helps getting it out there. Getting awareness out there is also big. Getting training out there and different types of support networks that people can go through is also fantastic. And the other thing that is a little bit underrated is actually getting the guys that need it into the support systems. So I would say most studies that people have found or conducted have found that individuals with good support systems are able to be a little bit more flexible. They can bounce back a little bit more. So that's kind of our goal, is to give our guys a place where they can come surrounded by individuals of like backgrounds that are there to support each other. So we first learned about the SGB shots probably about 6 or 7 months ago. And actually, I learned about it from my boss who had it. It said it worked very, very well for her. And we kind of found that we had about 14 of our guys and girls go through it. And we are 11 for 14 for that being very successful. 2 out of 14 for it being fairly successful, and it didn't take quite for one guy. I would say that our individuals usually kind of break up into 2 different categories. So we'd have the people that have kind of a continuous anxiety, so you wake up anxious, go throughout the day, maybe have trouble sleeping at nighttime, wake up tired, then it kind of builds and it compounds on itself day after day after day after day. So the people that have had the stellate ganglion block shot that are in that category said that, as soon as they finished off the procedure, felt like they had a 100-pound pack removed from them. Sleeping through the night, they're less anxious. Speaking for the other group, it might be a little bit more event driven. So it might have triggers, hypervigilance, temper issues, things like that. And for those of us that it worked for very well with that, brought the calmness down, calmness that actually both categories probably haven't seen in years. Things that used to feel like mountains are now the speed bumps that they are. And one of the byproducts of that is having really good relations, better relations with family, better relations with friends. And speaking as a first responder, it's better relations with the community. Being able to come on chaotic crime scenes and being able to remain calm. It's more effective, and it also works better in tactical situations because our judgment works better. If we're getting overridden by our sympathetic nervous system, start getting a little bit more stressed out, and the old brain starts taking over, pushing out the adrenaline and the ability to use judgment, rational thought, and self-reflection in a moment's notice kind of gets dulled because it's being overridden. And the nice thing about this shot is that it brings you back to that calmness, so you can sit back and make tactical decisions in a more calm manner, which means we're going to have a much better probability of making the right decision. So one of the concerns that some of our guys have is a lot of our guys are still tactically out there. So they're still in the military, they're police officers, that are still out in the street, and they're kind of concerned that this might lower their tactical ability. And they have done studies that show that this is actually just the opposite. So although we're being a little bit calmer when we're out there, the ability to go ahead and use the skills that we have in self-defense type scenarios is actually enhanced because we're actually making better judgments. So everyone kind of realizes if you kind of go into a ring, if anyone's trained and done something like that, the individual that's able to stay a little bit calmer and a little bit more tactical usually does a better job. If you go in there and you get all emotional, tire out faster, make bad decisions, things like that. This would be just the opposite. So it'd be like a professional trained, MMA fighter or boxer getting into the ring where you kind of get that calm, cool, trained collectiveness. And this really actually helps out with that. They have done studies with special forces and they put them through the test before the shot and after the shot, and the reaction times and everything were at least equal after the shot, and the ability to make sound judgments under stress was actually increased. I had a little bit of my own skepticism with this to begin with. So first of all, the tactical edge part would be a little bit of it. Second of all, it almost does kind of sound like a infomercial. Like if you come in here, you're going to spend a quick time, get a couple shots, and then be right out the door, and it's going to be a life changer. And I'm not a huge fan of needles either, especially if we're talking about putting them in by a nerve area. So I kind of overcame that, kind of trusted some of the other individuals that I knew that had the shot before me, and I did not regret it. So this is definitely not an infomercial. This is a fantastic procedure that can be a life changer by just a quick office visit. We believe that this would work out really well in the arena of suicide awareness and prevention. So when individuals start getting big stressors on there in their lives, that can kind of compound. So let's take a law enforcement officer, for example. If I go out there, I lose my temper because I have PTSD, I don't use the proper rules of engagement that I should, then that could cause me to lose my job, if not more. That's going to put more stressors on me, might put me in a situation then where now I start being depressed, and then that's going to lead down an even darker rabbit hole. So this is one of the best things I think we could possibly have for our guys out there, guys and girls that are out there on the line day after day. And it really helps individuals throughout, I would say, every aspect of their life. And if they can help out in work, if they can help out in personal relationships, I think we're going to start moving that trend from higher suicides down to lower suicides. So we do a 20-mile ruck march. We get in, we put a team in for another organization called Chicago Veterans. And it started out as a 22-miler, then it went to a 20-miler, and now it's down to a 17-miler. We include first responders, so we keep ours at 20. But we know we're never really going to end veteran suicide, veteran first responder suicide, but we said our goal would be, it would be really nice to get it down to a 5K. I think the SGB shot would probably be one of the best resources that a department could use or the government could use in their any wellness plan or mental health plan that they have, especially for individuals that are thinking about the bang for the buck is incredible with this. I would do this shot at least once a year. If need be. I think it's a very low risk, high reward. I think it's a high reward for employers because they're going to have a calmer, better, more productive employee. And I think it's better for the government, the VA, and if we could possibly have the FDA approve this, that would be outstanding, get insurance companies to cover it. One example that I kind of use is right now it's kind of like we're walking down a beach and the tide has gone out and there are 10,000 starfish on there, and right now we're taking one starfish and throwing them back in the water at a time, which is great. It makes a difference to every single starfish. But if we could pick up most of the 10,000 starfish right off the bat and not have a financial burden or hurdle to that, that would be fantastic. So one area I think this might help out in a lot would be if individuals that are going through a really stressful situation, whether, I'm going to use this for purposes of speaking about employers. Individuals that have gone through a very stressful situation and they might be a little hesitant about going back out on the street, given the fact that they're still emotionally and mentally dealing with the event that they had. I think the shot is an outstanding economical procedure to be able to do to both help out the individual and it does help out the employer, because instead of having someone on disability or medical on the desk or administrative, things like that, the individual is going to be able to function and cycle back into the workforce and they get back onto the horse, so to speak, much quicker, much faster with this shot than they might otherwise be able to. The Chicago Police Marines is our main organization that we work with. We partner up with American Legions, VFWs, and a couple of the other charities that I just mentioned. We can be found at www.chicagopolicemarines.org or chicagopolice@gmail.com would be our email. We work out of the Chicagoland area. Occasionally, we can get a little further. Our tentacles do go a little further outside of that, but our main area of expertise would be in the Chicagoland area.